There is Brittany Renee Williams. By all accounts, Brittany Renee Williams was a cheerful and joyful child, even though her life had been a struggle since day one. Brittany was born in 1993 to a mentally ill mother named Rose Thompson. She had AIDS and she passed it along to Brittany. Rose's instability rendered her unable to meet Brittany's needs. For years, Brittany was neglected and passed from one caregiver to another. It wasn't easy for those caregivers either. Because of her illness, she had a port and a catheter. She needed constant medical care. This is when Kim Parker entered the picture. Kim ran a sham nonprofit to profit from. She named her charity Rainbow Kids. The focus of the charity was on special needs kids, those with developmental and medical challenges. Brittany was a great draw for getting people to donate also. It was a winning situation for Kim Parker that Brittany's biological mother asked Kim to become Brittany's legal caregiver upon her death in 1996. It was a perfect draw for Kim to make some cash. The problem was that Kim was not the angel she portrayed herself to be. She was using Rainbow Kids to funnel money to herself. Most donations to the charity would be taken by Kim for her own purchases. She had custody of several children at the time who were looked after by the charity, and she also claimed that the money was going to them. However, it would become clear later that she did not use the money for the kids in her care. Outsiders would notice that the kids were disheveled and neglected. Friends and neighbors saw this and they tried to report her to CPS, but nothing was ever done. Kim took in as many as 50 special needs kids from 1990. As someone who used to work in the social services field, I can tell you from experience that special needs kids often come with extra funding that is up to 3 times that of any other foster child. I don't see proof in this case that she was getting a lot more, but considering the number that she had and the fact that she chose those specific children, it's an educated guess that that is the reason and that it was pretty profitable. Despite all of this, Brittany was remembered as a happy girl who was always smiling. Her Aunt Brenda was in her life and would have liked custody of Brittany, but because her mother gave it to Kim, she was only able to take Brittany for visits. From the beginning, Brenda didn't trust Kim. She said she was clear that she found her intense friendliness worrisome, as if it was all an act. Brittany was very aware of her disease, and she wanted to protect those around her. Brenda remembers her panicking once when she accidentally cut herself because she thought her blood was dangerous. Despite her general happiness, her Aunt Brenda was concerned that whenever she was being driven back to Kim's house, Brittany became sullen and distant. Around this time, Kim began advertising her charity on TV, asking for donations, eventually taking in $18,000. All of this was used on a home renovation project and upgrades. This does not include any of the money she was being paid by social services. The last time Brittany was officially seen by anyone was a doctor's appointment on August 18, 2000. It was around this time that Kim called Brenda and said she felt she couldn't take care of Brittany anymore. She felt that the 7-year-old Brittany was flirting with the men who came to renovate the house. Kim morbidly said that she was worried Brittany would turn out just like her mother. Alarmed, Brenda said that she would be more than happy to take Brittany. Kim simply replied, "You're too late." She claimed a couple in California had adopted her without any paperwork or proof. Kim then stopped responding to Brenda completely, not answering her door or her calls. The state did bring Kim in because Brittany stopped attending school. Kim claimed that she had gone to live with relatives, and shockingly, the police took her at her word. There was no effort to confirm this and to speak to any relatives in question. Kim Parker continued to collect the child's monthly benefit check from the Virginia Department of Child and Family Services in the summer of 2002, using the money to continue renovating her home. She stated that she expected Brittany to return to her care eventually. A year later, Kim was brought in again, this time for not taking Brittany to a court-ordered paternity test. She told the same story, that she had gone to live with relatives. Again, no proof was required. They took her at her word and let it go. Finally, in 2003, a news reporter heard about these cases and pushed for a missing persons report to be made. Only then did the police agree to look for her, and Kim was eventually jailed for contempt of court for not giving up any information about Brittany's location. She eventually named 2 Rainbow Kid volunteers. Their names were Linda and Kathy, saying that she gave the child to them. Both women were horrified, saying they knew Brittany, but they had never ever had her in her care. In January 2003, custody of Brittany was officially given to the local social services department, and they were ordered to find her. The police opened up a missing child investigation. In February of that year, Parker was ordered to serve 20 days in jail for contempt of court in connection with her failure to tell police where Brittany was. Parker protested that she could not tell what she did not know. They ripped Kim's house apart, hoping to find a clue or perhaps Brittany's body. They even looked in the septic tank. The investigators had ruled there was no way she could be alive because the meds she needed were not being provided. In April 2003, Kim Parker was indicted on 73 felony charges, mostly fraud and money laundering, related to Brittany's case. Authorities alleged that she accepted over $16,000 from private individuals and the government for the care of Brittany when the girl was not living in her home, and that she illegally attempted to conceal the sources of the money. Parker would go on to plead guilty to 1 count of mail fraud and 1 count of wire fraud. She did this in July of 2003. She was then charged with 3 counts of medical assistant payment fraud for allowing Brittany's Medicaid payments to continue needlessly. Medicaid paid about $8,000 in insurance premiums for Brittany after she left Parker's care. In December 2003, Parker was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison on the mail and wire fraud charges. Normally, the sentence for such a crime is 10 to 16 months. However, the judge imposed a higher sentence in Parker's case due to the harm she caused Brittany. She was also convicted of state charges of Medicaid fraud and sentenced to 2 years in prison. Brittany has never been found. There were no real leads on exactly what happened to her, other than Kim's suspected involvement. Kim is out of prison now and still refuses to say what happened to Brittany. One of Brittany's childhood friends, a woman named Sarah Minter, said that she lived 2 blocks away and loved Brittany. She said she was very sweet, she was soft-spoken, and had the biggest smile that you'd ever want to see. Brittany remains missing and her case is unsolved. Her Social Security number and Medicaid insurance card have not been used in any state since her disappearance. Investigators believe that she is no longer alive. Without using her Medicaid benefits, she would have no way to get the medicine she needs to stay alive. If she was alive today, she would be 28. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Henrico County Police Department at area code 804-501-5000. Thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Take care of yourself and each other.